Now I'm excited for today's episodes because I'm going to explore one of the most important, obviously, but also daunting aspects of the book writing process. And it begins very, very early, and it's coming up with your book idea. Now, maybe you've got a dozen ideas, but you're not sure which to focus on, or maybe you're just staring at a blank page, not sure where to begin. If either of these sounds like you, you're not alone because every author, including me, goes through this at some point. When I sat down to write The Six Pillars of a Rewarding Life, I was super overwhelmed with the concepts I wanted to explore. I had to sift through my personal experiences, passions, stories, and the impact I wanted to create. I faced the same challenge with Evolve Your Skills and Publish to Impact as well. It's always a process trying to distill my message into something that could really truly make a difference. And it wasn't easy, but once I got the clarity, the rest of the process became so much smoother. So today I'm going to help you get you there. We're going to talk about 5 creative strategies that help you come up with your book idea. And more importantly, we want to make sure it's aligned with your passion, with your expertise, and the kind of impact. All right, so grab a notepad. Let's start with the first strategy, and it's brainstorming your passion and expertise. Now, I know this might sound straightforward, but when I began working on the 6 pillars of rewarding life, the concept just didn't come into my head straight away. It took time. I had to dive deep into what I was truly passionate about, what lit me up from the inside, and I had to align that with my area of expertise, or in that instance, knowledge and stuff that I've researched over through personal experiences at the time as well. So I often tell aspiring authors that their best ideas come from the intersection of what excites them and what they've mastered. And an exercise I'd recommend is to take out a notebook or open a document on your computer and make 2 columns. On one side, write down everything that excites you. These are the topics that you could talk about for hours, things that fuel your passion. It might be personal development, it might be health and wellness. You might love talking about business, leadership, relationships, meditation, productivity, anything. So that will be your first column, what excites you. Then in the second column, write down your areas of expertise. And it's not just about your professional accomplishments, although those are important. It's about everything you've spent time learning or experiencing. So that is your professional growth and your personal growth as well. What have you mastered through years of practice? For me, this was about combining my personal growth journey, but also with my skills in helping others turn their ideas into books. And that was with Publish to Impact. For Evolve Your Skills, this exercise was invaluable as well. I was deeply passionate about helping people develop their abilities and make meaningful changes in their lives. But at the same time, my expertise in knowing how to write and publish books gave me the clarity to create a framework that aligned with both passion and skill. And that's how Evolve Your Skills started to develop. So look at both lists and start identifying areas where your passion and your expertise overlap. For example, if you're passionate about leadership and have an extensive experience in, let's say, team building, that's your intersection. Or you could be a fitness coach who loves mindfulness. You could create a book, or you could write a book that blends those 2 concepts, like how mindfulness practices can enhance your physical health. The strategy works because when your book idea is rooted in something you're genuinely excited about, the writing process becomes less of a chore and more of an exploration and more fun. You'll also have the credibility to back up what you're saying, which is essential when positioning yourself as an expert in your field for your book. So the key takeaway here is don't just chase what's popular. You want your idea to come from a place that feels authentic to you, because that's where the magic is going to happen. So that's the first idea. Now, number 2, the second strategy is solving a common problem. So if you want your book to resonate with readers, it needs to address a problem that they're actively looking to solve. This is something I leaned heavily into with Publish to Impact. When I started to write Publish to Impact, it wasn't just about writing a book. It was about helping business owners, people with expertise, navigate the complex world of publishing and making sure their books make a real difference in this world, so that they can also create more income, impact, and influence inside their industry. So many people want to write a book, but they've got no idea how to get started, how to make their book matter, or how to make it stand out. That's the problem I want to solve, and it gave me a clear focus. So here's how you can do the same. Think about your ideal reader. What are they struggling with? What keeps them up at night? The easiest way to figure this out is to ask yourself, what questions am I constantly getting from people? If you're a coach or a consultant, what do your clients repeatedly ask you? If you're active in online communities or social media, what problems do you see people discussing? For instance, if you're like a life coach and one of the main issues your clients face is setting boundaries, a lot of people struggle with maintaining healthy boundaries, both in their personal and professional relationships. If this is a problem you know how to solve, that's a book idea. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. And I'll be talking a lot more about this inside idea to impact, because writing a book that solves a specific problem not only gives you the direction, but it also makes sure that you're creating something that your audience really truly needs. And it positions your book as a resource, something readers will turn to again and again. And the real beauty of this strategy is that it makes your book instantly marketable. People love books that give them solutions, whether that's how to scale a business, whether that's about burning out, how to manage mental health during stressful times, or maybe even to boost productivity. Your book becomes a tool for them to solve their problems. And now here's also a bonus tip. Once you've identified a common problem, start thinking about how you can offer a unique solution. What's your spin on this? What approach can you bring to the table that makes your book stand out? And if you own a business, think about this. Why do people come to you? What makes you different compared to the next business coach, compared to the next life coach? Think about what it is you offer inside your business, and you want to put that authenticity inside your book idea. All right, let's dive in now to strategy number 3, and that is the power of a personal story, one of my favorites. And if there's one thing I've learned through writing, it's your personal experiences are a goldmine for creating content that deeply resonates. When I was working on the 6 pillars of a rewarding life, I realized early on that the most powerful way to communicate my message was rooted in my own story. I've been through the highs and I've been through the lows of personal and professional development, and sharing those authentic experiences, I was able to create a connection with my readers. It wasn't just about the practical tips I've researched and thought of. It was more about showing them what I've been through and how they could apply those lessons inside their own lives. So think about your own journey. What challenges have you overcome? Are there any pivotal moments that have shaped who you are today? You can also think about whether there was a time in your life when you had to reinvent yourself, overcome adversity, or learn difficult lessons. Those are the experiences that we're looking for. Those are the experiences that can form the foundation of your book and really set up your knowledge. And this strategy is super important because people connect with stories. It's why I've created a special segment called Stories of Impact inside the Idea to Impact podcast, because I want your story to be told. That people connect with stories. They connect with you. When you write your book, your readers want to see themselves in your journey. They want to know that you've been there, that you've been where they are, and more importantly, that you've come out on the other side with knowledge and insights that they can use. So don't shy away from being vulnerable and authentic. Share the hard stuff and let your readers know that they're not alone as well. Now, while your personal story is also super important, and I believe you should always share it in your book, you want to tie it back to something that is going to benefit your readers. Because at the end of the day, the book is not just about you. It's about how your story can serve them. What can they learn from your experience? What strategies can they apply in their own lives? And that's what's going to turn a personal story into something that's really impactful, and also a way to help you actually write your book. So that's strategy number 3. Number 4, let's talk about a super practical strategy, and it's very simple. It's asking your audience. So sometimes when you're feeling stuck or unsure which direction you want to take your book, the best thing you can do is simply ask people who will eventually be reading your book. Ask your clients, ask your audience, ask your potential clients. When I was writing Publish to Impact, I made it a point to email my list and let them know about the thought process behind the book. I asked them what their biggest challenges were when it came to publishing, what were they struggling with, and their answers really helped me shape the content of the book as well to create something that was really truly meeting their needs. So you can do the same. So whether you have an audience on social media or an email list or a small group of clients, start asking them questions. Reach out directly and ask them about their challenges, especially in areas where you feel you could offer the solutions. So you might be surprised by what comes up as well. And Here's a quick way how you can implement this as well. You can social media polls, email surveys, or even just one-on-one conversations. And then what you want to do is the feedback you receive from your audience, it's going to be incredibly valuable because it comes directly from the people you're trying to serve. They're going to tell you what they're struggling with, and that feedback directly influences the structure, the tone, and the content of your book. And that's the thing as well. You don't have to guess what your audience needs. Just ask, and they'll often tell you exactly what they're looking for. Once you've gathered all that feedback, you'll have so many ideas that you can use to develop your book. And you're not going to be wondering whether you've got enough content for a book. You're going to be figuring out, okay, how can I now organize this content and make sure that it resonates with people who will ultimately read it? So that is strategy number 4. The final strategy on how to come up with your book idea is to combine your ideas. So let's talk about what I mean. And one of the most effective ways to create a book, a standout book, is to blend 2 or more concepts that don't traditionally go together. This approach can help you break away from the competition, and it gives your readers something fresh and something that's original too. And how you can do this is start by looking at the different ideas you're toying with. Are there 2 or more that you can combine into a framework or perspective? So let's just say you're passionate about mindfulness and you have a background in business. You could create a book that explores how mindfulness practices can help business owners make better decisions and reduce stress. Or if you're a nutritionist and a life coach, maybe there's a way to blend those 2 into a book that helps people find balance in their physical health and emotional well-being. Combining ideas also works well when you want to address a niche audience. So, for example, publish to impact. This book could be targeted for people who want to write nonfiction books, but I decided to combine my love for business with learning how to write and publish a book. So I combined the 2 together. So when you merge 2 concepts, you're really appealing to a very specific audience and people who feel the book was made for them. So the power of combining ideas, it lies in the fact that it sets you apart in a crowded market. And there are already countless books on leadership. There's already countless books on mindfulness and business, but blending the topics together in a new way, you create something that's both unique and practical. And when your book offers something fresh, readers are more likely to choose it over others that cover more familiar topics. So there you have it, 5 creative ways to come up with your book idea. We had brainstorming your passions and expertise. We had solving a common problem, using personal stories, asking your audience for feedback, and combining ideas for a unique. So remember, having an idea is all you need to get started with a book. The moment you start mapping out your chapters, outlining your content, and giving your idea structure, you'll realize that you have more than enough material to write an entire book. The confidence comes from taking action like anything you do. Once you see your thoughts take shape, the process becomes so much easier and it's so much more rewarding as well. And just to mention, when Idea to Impact comes live, we cover all these strategies in much more detail about coming up with your book idea, just to make sure that idea is on point and it aligns with your business vision and your goals. So you can not only come up with a powerful idea, but you can turn an idea into others that helps grow your business. So speaking of which, I want you to join the waitlist if you're looking at writing a book. I'm also offering an exclusive book writing starter kit to everyone who joins the waitlist. This kit will also help you start brainstorming your book idea, mapping it out, and really building a strong foundation to make that writing process so much easier for you. And also, one other thing, in the show notes, there is also a book validation guide, so you can get that as well. But until next time, I just want you to remember, every best-selling book starts with an idea, and you have that idea to turn that idea into a reality. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you again on the next episode.